Today on Sporting Top 10, we'll be counting down the top 10 fantasy football defenses / special teams for the 2017 NFL season. At number 10, we have the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Arizona Cardinals have a top secondary with Patrick Peterson as a top corner in the game and Tyrann Mathieu as a top safety. A solid linebacking core with former Patriot Chandler Jones, Deion Buchanan, Carlos Dansby, and new rookie Hassan Reddick out of Temple. And they have a defensive anchor as their tackle and Frosty Rucker. And they have a rather easy division with the Rams and the 49ers in it. Number 9 is the Carolina Panthers. Now, the Panthers have one of the best linebackers in the game, Luke Kuechly, and he leads their defense in all aspects of it. And they have a big D-line with Star Lotulelei and Mario Addison, but just keep in mind that their weak secondary, at their safety and cornerback positions, could hurt them. At number 8, we have the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Baltimore Ravens are led by two veterans. One at defensive line, Terrell Suggs, and the other at safety, Eric Weather, which will provide leadership. And with the solid young core, with linebacker C.J. Mosley and cornerback Jimmy Smith, they're both talented, and this is a solid all-around defense, and it has been for the past years. Number 7, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs have Marcus Peters and Eric Berry with a solid secondary, and a solid front seven with veteran Justin Houston and another veteran, Tamba Hali. And special teams might actually make a difference on this team, as they have Tyreek Hill, who is an absolutely explosive playmaker in the special teams department. At number 6, we have the New York Giants. Now, the New York Giants have one of the best safeties in the game, Landon Collins, and along with that, they have Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, a.k.a. DRC, second-year player Eli Apple, solid other playmakers in the corners, Janoris Jenkins and Prince Amukamara, and solid defensive lines with JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul, and Olivier Vernon at their ends. And they can rack up interceptions quickly with that great secondary. And that's my bad on Prince Amukamara. He's actually on Jacksonville now, so that was my bad. And back onto the list. Number 5 is the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Minnesota Vikings are solid all around, with Pro Bowler Harrison Smith at safety looking out over the field. And they have solid cornerback Captain Munnerlyn. They also have a young core at linebackers, Barr and Hendricks. Anthony Barr is a great player, and like I said, youth all around, and they could climb up the board even more, as a lot of people like their defense. Just an all-around great one. Number 4, we have the New England Patriots. Now, like the Minnesota Vikings, the Patriots are solid all around, with linebacker Deontay Hightower and a great secondary with Patrick Chung, Devin McCourty at safeties, and Malcolm Butler, a new addition from the Buffalo Bills, Stephon Gilmore. And they have a rather weak division with the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills. Not great offenses at all. At number 3, we have the Seattle Seahawks. The Legion of Boom is still going to go strong this year, as Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman in the secondary head up the Legion of Boom. And also Cam Chancellor, a hard hitter at linebacker, is always a nice addition. And a solid defensive line with Michael Bennett, solid defensive lineman, like I said. And they have a weak offense in their division with the Rams and the 49ers. Also, a new addition from the Jets, defensive tackle Sheldon Richardson, who won Defensive Rookie of the Year a couple years ago. At number 2, we have the Denver Broncos. Now, the Denver Broncos have an elite secondary and an elite front seven. Within their secondary, they have Chris Harris Jr., Aqib Talib, and T.J. Ward at one of their safeties. And they have an overpowering defensive line with, of course, Super Bowl MVP Von Miller, Derek Wolfe, and Malik Jackson. And also they have Brandon Marshall at linebacker. At number 1, we have the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans' two defensive ends are arguably the best in football, which is Davian Clowney and J.J. Watt. They give quarterbacks nightmares. And like I said, it could be overwhelming. Expect a ton of sacks, a ton of points from their sacks. And they have a solid middle linebacker in Brian Cushing leading their defense as a whole. Their front seven is what takes the top spot. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Sporting Top 10.